Chad, for allowing me to be here this morning. I'm glad to see all your faces here this morning, and I hope I can live up to Teresa's amazing. That's a lot to live up to. I first want to say, a lot of times people discuss domestic violence, and when they say domestic violence, they think about either the poor or African American or maybe poor Hispanics, and they don't know what type of face to put to domestic violence. So I want, if you could just take a minute to look at me. I am the face of domestic violence. I was not raised in a poor home. My mother worked every day. We lived in a very nice home in a very nice neighborhood. My father died with bone cancer when I was 5, but we went to church every Sunday, and I mean every Sunday. There was no exceptions. If you were sick, you had to be really sick not to go to church. And we churched all day. We churched for Sunday school, 11 o'clock service, 3 o'clock service, and if it was something going on at 7, we was there too. And if anybody was visiting the church, we was there for that. We had Wednesday night, we had choir rehearsal, we had BT, we had church.
Amen.
And things were a little different now than they were back then. Children didn't get to stay home. We went to church, and there was no exception, and children participated in church. We did the Easter programs, we did the Sunday school programs, we did the Christmas programs. You participated in church. And in my house, there was no domestic violence, and I have to say, I actually didn't know men hit women. I didn't know that. I didn't know that women were abused by men. Didn't know that. I never saw my mother hit. My brothers didn't hit their girlfriends. If they did, my mother didn't know about it. And so I actually did not know there was a such thing as domestic violence. I did not know. I went to and graduated college from Stephen F. Austin State University, got a degree in psychology, met and married a man that I just figured would be the man that I was going to be married to for the rest of my life, because in our church, when you get married, you stay married. There is no hopping around, skipping around. You marry, you stay married. And in our house, your business stayed in your house. You didn't tell your business. It stayed in your home. But what I did was, I was young. I thought I looked good, so the man I married, he looked good too. We looked good together. That was a fact. That was vanity and youngness. And I didn't take him home and ask my mother about marrying him before I married him. That was a mistake. But I married him. And we went to go visit his mother one day. He didn't hit me before we was married. He was very good to me. And I had a 1-year-old son already when we got married. He was very good to that son. And I thought, oh, he is the best. He's the best. And we went to visit his mother one day. This is in East Texas. I don't know if anybody knows anything about East Texas, but it's total red dirt in East Texas. Just red dirt, red dirt. And we went to his mother's to visit, and I had on some white pants. And I asked him a question about how long were we going to stay. We had been there quite a while, and I was ready to go. He turned around, hit me with his closed fist, and knocked me to the ground. His mother was standing outside, and so was his father, and neither one of them said a word. I could not believe I was hit, but I was raised by a mother and uncles and everything that if you hit, when you do get up fighting. Right. So I got up and started to charge him, and when I got up to charge him, he hit me in my stomach as if he was hitting another guy. So I went down again. So I figured real quick, this is not going to work. So I got my keys, got in my car, and I drove home. When I got home, I thought, should I tell my mother? I was living in East Texas. She was living in Dallas. I said, no, shouldn't tell my mother, because she'll tell her brothers. Then we'll have a murder on our hands, and that will be my responsibility. So that was my first time to be hit by a man. So I said, I cannot tell. I didn't tell because I didn't have anybody to tell. I did have somebody to tell. I could have told my mother. I could have left. But there was no way I was going to tell my mother so she could tell her brothers so they could kill this man. So I said, well, okay, he just can't come home. But he did come home. And he cried and said how sorry he was and how much he loved me and that he wasn't going to ever do this again. And please don't leave me. And I swear that I love you. And if you just give me this time. Wow. So I cried with him and I believed him. And he didn't hit me for a while. But what I didn't realize, there's a cycle of abuse.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
There you are.
Oh, there's the build-up stage.
Yeah.
There's the loving me stage. Then there's the violence stage, and we start all over again. But that's what I didn't know, because I had never been in domestic violence, and nobody ever told me that men hit women. Nobody ever told me that their husbands actually hit their wives. Nobody told me that. So because of my college degree, I had 2 jobs. He had 1. I had 2. We had 2 cars. We made a good living. I made a good living.
You did.
I made a good living. I made a good living. He lived very good. I made a good living.
He was kicked back.
And I would go to 2 jobs. He'd have his friends over partying. I made a good living.
Yes.
And, you know, he would find something wrong with me all the time. You too fat. You need to lose weight. Okay? I would lose weight. Who looking at you at those jobs that you losing all that weight? Wait a minute, I thought you said I was too fat. So I lost weight. It must be somebody looking at you, so I got hit for that. So he realized hitting me in my face wasn't going to work because it was going to cost me one of those good jobs.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So he started hitting me and kicking me in my head, in my back, in my stomach, where the bruises don't show. Kicking me out of the bed in the middle of the night when I was asleep, and all those things. The bruises don't show if they're on your back, if they're in your stomach, if they're in the top of your head, and all those things. My son that I had was born 2 months early. He was a premature baby. He didn't weigh but 1.5 pounds, but he had gotten a little fatter. I was getting off from work one day, tired. He was mad. I don't know about what, but he was mad. I could tell he was mad when I got in the car, so I had learned, if he mad, just don't say nothing. It's better just don't say nothing. Let him be mad. He'll get over. Just let him be mad. Well, I didn't say nothing. That made him mad.
Yeah.
So I got out the car. He walked around. Yeah, that made him mad. If I say something, he mad. If I don't say something, he mad. So he came around to my car, to my side of the car door, not to open the door to let me and my baby out. I'm holding my baby. He took the car door, slammed it on my face. It broke all the bones in this side of my jaw. I could hear them crack. Well, I had a choice to make, to drop my baby on the ground from pain or get back in the car and let him drive me to the hospital. So as we're driving to the hospital, he said, you can't tell them what happened to you because I'll go to jail. And I'm thinking to myself, well, good if you go to jail. At least I can get some sleep. If you go to jail, well, if I go to jail, when I get out, how bad you think things gonna be for you and the baby?
Stick to.
So when I get there, they asked me what happened. I said I was getting out of my car. The car came back and closed up the door.